Once in their partners, students share their prior knowledge of effective strategies for finding and moving to open space. Consider having students watch the skill demonstration videos from mlscshapeup.com prior to the lesson. To get warmed up, we're going to start with a game of keep away. Use pylons to divide the gymnasium into 4 to 6 activity areas. Students begin by walking briskly around the gym, weaving in and out of the pylons. Students deke or move around the pylon, changing direction by planting the outside foot and moving quickly in the opposite direction. After a few seconds, have the students increase their activity level to a slow jog and finally to a slow run while continuing to deke around the pylons. After 1 minute, divide the class into teams of 2 or 3 and have students play mini 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 games of keep away using a basketball. Students with the ball can only pass, no dribbling allowed. Students have a maximum of 5 seconds to make a pass while their other teammates defend. If a ball is intercepted or is passed out of bounds, the defensive team gets the ball. The object of the game is to see how long one team can keep the ball away from the other team. Remind students that they need to move without the ball to be successful. Prior to the activity, inspect the activity area for safe traction and potential hazards. Remind students to be cautious of others when moving. Remind students that as they move faster, they will have to be more aware of the personal space of those around. Set boundaries for activities a safe distance away from the walls. Inform students of the boundaries of the activity area. Now that we're warmed up, we're going to focus on a couple drills that will help us to pass and to move. So let's get started with passing and moving to an open space. Students remain in their warm-up groups. Students line up in 2 lines that face each other about 10 meters apart. The first student in line A passes, using a chest or bounce pass, to the first student in line B and then runs across to the back of line B. Then the first person in line B passes to the next person in line A and runs to the end of line A. Have students continue this sequence for the duration of the activity. Prior to the activity, consider reviewing the fundamentals of passing and receiving the 2-handed bounce and chest passes. Consider having students watch the skill demonstration videos from mlscshapeup.com prior to the lesson. Let's move on to our next activity, passing on the move. In their groups of 4 to 6, have students partner up and line up across from and facing their partner about 3 meters apart at one end of the group's activity area. Each pair of students has a basketball. On a signal, the first 2 partners begin to shuffle towards the other end of their activity area, passing the ball back and forth to each other as they move. When they are halfway to the other end, the next pair begins. Continue shuffling and passing on the move for the duration of the activity. Remind students to pass the ball where their partner will be. Teacher moves throughout the class reminding students of the success criteria for sending and receiving a pass. We'll now play a 2-on-2 no dribbling mini game. Using the same groups of 4 to 6 students, students play mini half-court games of 2-on-2 or 3-on-3. Students are not to dribble the basketball in this game. They must advance the ball by passing. Students have 5 seconds to make a pass. On a turnover, the defending team takes possession of the ball and must complete at least 2 passes before they can take a shot at the basket. If time allows, a second game can be played with a different opposing team. Be sure to remind students of game strategies such as give and go, quick transitioning from defense to offense, using the outlet pass, and moving to open space to get open. Let's cool down with Pass It On. Throughout this activity, students will gradually decrease their heart rate to a resting rate and then will stretch the body parts that have been active through the lesson. In their groups of 4 to 6, students form a circle and begin to run around in the circle. Each group has a basketball, and students begin to pass the ball back and forth across the circle to one another as they run around the circle. The students continue to pass the ball back and forth as the teacher directs the group to slowly decrease their activity to a slow jog and finally to a walk. Once the students are walking, the teacher signals the group to stop by calling time out, at which point the person holding the ball leads the group in a 15-second stretch. The groups resume walking and passing the ball back and forth until the teacher calls out time out again, and a new student leads the stretch. This sequence continues until the groups are appropriately cooled down. While students are stretching, have them reflect on their application of the learning goals. Students give themselves a thumbs up, thumbs middle, or thumbs down to demonstrate their level of participation.